I love to be gone back yet. Love turns into having to grab it.
Welcome to Lobster Magnet and Friends with just Lobster Magnet and my bird, Captain Crunch, on this rainy morning. This is a little bit later than usual. My hopes of hopes, I hoped I would be able to do a review with Goro on Dr. Stone, because I really want to talk about it with him, but, you know, he's fully in, you know, whatchamacallit, honeymoon phase with his new girlfriend, so it's very, very difficult to pull him away from that. So, oh man, it is absolutely obliterating any progress of the comic he was drawing. Between that and his goddamn fucking art classes, which hopefully should be ending soon. Even though they're not really classes, they're just like kind of like an informal thing where you just kind of like in a studio space and you paint, and then you can be overseen by a teacher. It's so messed up, but like, you know, I am like rooting for that relationship to fail so I can drag him back here to do freaking keep on talking about weeb shit. Just so messed up. But sadly, for my purposes of not talking alone, it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. It looks like it's going very swimmingly for him, and the honeymoon phase is just going on, and, you know, the girlfriend is not like coming to like a horrible realization that he's like 30 and works at a pharmacy and still at his parents' apartment, which I'd hoped would be a huge, you know, relationship killer. But in his case, it has not been, which is sucks for me. It means I'm stuck talking about Dr. Stone alone. And as you know, as I've bitched many times, I hate just like sitting here talking alone. I like someone to bounce off of. Oh, god damn it, I just want to be a Bitcoin millionaire so I can go buy a house, and then I can use my money to force all my friends to sit around and fucking watch stuff. Like, you know how you see Angry Joe, and like he'll like drag his like buddies to like sit around and talk about like movies and shit? That's what I want to do. I want to get to the point where I'm successful enough that I could like make a video, you know, casual, sort of low effort, sort of blog post content style video that like makes like $100 or $200 easily. And you know, I that gives, you know, if I do that consistently enough, that gives me enough money that I could like strong arm my friends to do that and have them do it with me all day long. But sadly, that is not the case, and it probably won't be the case for a very, very long time, if ever, since, you know, there's a certain amount of luck. But anyway, that's enough bitching about personal life and me being angry about being alone on this rainy morning to talk about Dr. Stone with my bird. We're here to talk about Chapter 54, which, this is, I mean, it wasn't a bad chapter, but I was a bit disappointed by this one. Just because, like, last chapter, you know, they were hyping the Chrome Expedition to go, like, find new materials, and I'm like, all right, that sounds awesome. Let's go see them go into the cave and, you know, use their incredible lights to, you know, do their expedition. That could be really fun. But they didn't do the expedition. Instead, they sat around trying to make vacuum tubes, only to discover that, like, you know, bamboo couldn't work as a filament, and that they need, you know, a stronger metal material. And there's a brief, sad moment where Senku's like, you know, oh, we've reached the limits of how far we can go, with the technology we possess. And that was, like, super depressing to see, like, you know, Senku's spirit completely crushed until, Suiku pulls out the blue gem and reveals, oh, this is something from deep in the cave. And it's like, oh, then he comes to the realization if they can get tungsten or make tungsten, then that'll work to make the kind of wire they need to, you know, fill the vacuum tube. So now it's like, you know, oh, cave diving expedition, woo! But, you know, I was kind of hoping that they would have, you know, started that earlier. But, you know, still was a good chapter of Dr. Stone, good Dr. Stone fun time. I certainly enjoyed hanging around, you know, seeing them experiment and come into failures. But at the same time, though, we've had some really, really strong chapters, and this definitely felt like it was a downgrade. Maybe just because I wanted, like, a cave adventure, you know, and given how Boichi did such a great job of, like, characterizing, like, the sulfur lake, you know, as, like, the sexy woman who's, like, actually the spirit of death. I had, like, high hopes that we'd see something as clever for that in the cave world, but, you know, now we don't, or at least it's been delayed. But next chapter, we get the incredible cave exploration, which I'm looking forward to. I've overall been enjoying this arc, but this definitely felt like it was a step down from the last few chapters, which I really, really liked. But still, Dr. Stone's going strong, and the cell phone arc is, keeping Dr. Stone good as it's always been. I can't wait for when he teaches them how to build houses out of bricks as opposed to thatched huts, which they kind of use now. But I'm still enjoying this. If I had to give this chapter, I'd say it was an 8. It's a good, solid piece of entertainment, just not quite as high as what we've come to expect, in the consistent, brilliant fun of Dr. Stone. But Dr. Stone is still going strong, and got a nice cover page, which you'll probably be seeing a huge ton of. And those are my thoughts on Dr. Stone. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Were you disappointed that they didn't go under the cave, or were you think things are just as good as they've always been? I still think the next chapter will be really good. And overall, Dr. Stone has been fantastic, so I have not much to complain about. Captain Crunch enjoys it as well. You can hear him squawking about it. And, everyone's doing what they need to do to get those materials, and it's good fun. Good, solid fun. So let me know what you think, Dr. Stoners, down in the comments below. And, remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it.
Manga's made of iron, love first made